Hey folks, this clip is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Get $30 off your order of perfectly aged steaks, juicy burgers, and decadent desserts with our promo code VOLS, that is VOLS, Omaha Steaks. All right, we are back. Charlie Burris, Zach Reagan for another midweek segment here on the A to Z Sports Big Orange podcast. Thanks for joining us. This one is going to be just a quick little take. Honestly, for the fun of it. So Zach and I have filled out our brackets for the NCAA tournament. We talked about Tennessee's draw in a previous video on Sunday night, and then we talked about it even a little bit more on Monday, but we didn't reveal our whole take on the tournament, and we filled out our brackets through our Run Your Pool partnership. We're going to talk about that in just a second, but this is just going to be a quick rundown of our brackets. But I'll ask you, Zach, have you ever won like a bracket pool?
No, not even close, to be honest. There was one time I got the Final Four completely right, but and this was like 2007 or something, quite a while ago, like 15 years ago. But like everything in between the Final Four and the first round was a complete disaster, except for like those four teams. And I think it was one of those years where like pretty much all number one seeds went, so it wasn't really like a big, crazy projection on my part. But no, I usually finish very middle of the road in these, almost always.
I had a miracle one year. It was my office pool, and I got the entire Final Four correct, and I got the final correct, and I missed the winner. I mean, I missed a ton of stuff to get to that Final Four, but I got the Final Four and the final correct one year, and I won that one. That's the only time I ever have. And I mean, my goodness, I might as well have won the lottery. I probably should have just done lottery numbers in that case. But yeah, it has happened. But if you believe in your ability to fill out a bracket, go to play.runyourpool.com/ATOZ and enter our bracket challenge here. You can see it on the bottom of the screen if you're watching this. Run Your Pool. They're partnering with us for a bracket challenge for this NCAA tournament. You'll play against me. You'll play against Zach. You'll play against everybody else at A to Z. As of right now, we have like 300 entries already in there. So go and fill out yours. And the prizes, it's free to play. Super easy to sign up. Play.runyourpool.com/ATOZ. Free to play, free to sign up. Really quick to sign up. You just fill out your bracket. And then the prizes, 55-inch smart TV. $150 to Fanatics, $50 to Amazon, and it's free. I mean, what do you have to lose? I said this on Twitter. I don't want to say you'll regret it for the rest of your life not signing up, but you might, and why take that risk? So go ahead, play.runyourpool.com/ATOZ and enter your bracket there and join us. Now, Zach, we'll put this on tape so that people can make fun of how bad we are at predicting things. But I'll throw it to you first. Let's just do it this way. What's your Final Four? And we can go from there and discuss why you chose those.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a great reason for why I chose. Let me pull these up again here. For why I chose my picks, but they are what they are. Unfortunately, I have Alabama making it to the Final Four. I'm sure that won't be a popular pick, but my reasoning behind this is I hope to see them lose in the first round. Probably not going to happen. They're playing what'd you say? Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Probably not going to lose there. Probably they're one of the better teams in the NCAA tournament this year. Let's see where mine are. Okay. I don't know. Brandon Miller's the best player in college basketball. I mean, and that means a lot in March Madness. So I think they have a really good chance to make a run. Then I've got Marquette, which I think is one of the hottest teams in the country right now, and a team that could possibly win it all. I have Houston making the Final Four, and then I have Kansas making it as well. And emerging from that group, I'm going to lean towards Marquette. That's who I picked as my national champion.
Interesting. That's a bold call. I like Marquette too. I was trying to look to back up my my own sort of assertions here for some of these things, but so I had for my Final Four, I have Arizona making it out of, and that's Alabama's portion of the bracket, so I don't have Alabama making the Final Four. I do have Marquette. I'm with you on that one. And I have Xavier I got an explanation for that one too. And then Kansas. And then I had Arizona beating Kansas for the national championship. I know our sales guy at A to Z, Andrew Schulman, he's an Arizona grad. He'll love that. So that one's for you, Andrew. I think he'll probably watch this since I think he sold everything with Run Your Pool. So Andrew, I'm choosing Arizona. So you're welcome there. So as far as that Alabama side goes, I said they make the Sweet 16. West Virginia's probably going to give them a good game. They've been playing pretty decent ball all year. But I think they make it to the Sweet 16, and they play Virginia at that point. And I just love Tony Bennett. He's one of the best college basketball coaches. I think there's an argument to be made that he is the best current active basketball coach in college ball. And I just think, Nate Oates has done a good job constructing that roster, but he's not a huge X's and O's guy. You can just kind of tell. He just sort of lets his guys go out there, and he uses the natural talent of Brandon Miller to go and play. And when they don't make threes, it's over. I mean, that's how Tennessee beat them. That's how Texas A&M beat them. When they lost this season, that's what happened. And, at different points, they got blown out by UConn at one point. So I just think that Tony Bennett is a great foil there. And he's, to that point of Oates not really being an X's and O's guy. I think Tony Bennett is like the X's and O's guy. So I said they go down there. And good Lord, I hope I'm right. I mean, obviously, my inclination was to have them lose to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, but I do have to at least be somewhat realistic here. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, dude, Marquette, Shaka Smart has those boys rolling. It's great. But to me, so I did choose this, and obviously we have to talk about it from this angle, since we are the Big Orange podcast. I have Tennessee. Now, I know I said the other day, I said that Tennessee would probably lose to Duke in the second round. I do have them going to the Sweet 16 and losing to Purdue. How far did you have Tennessee making it?
Have them losing to Duke in the second round. I just
too realistic. You're just stomping on everybody's dreams, Zach.
Well, with the deal with Josiah Jordan-James not having Zakai Ziegler, the way Duke has been playing lately, I try to make these brackets every year with logic, which is probably where I go wrong because there's nothing logical about the NCAA tournament. Yeah. It's complete chaos. Something crazy happens every year. And when I try to predict that, it really goes haywire. So I just try to use logic and wherever it takes me. In fact, I was going to ask you that. What is your process when you fill out one of these brackets? Because I think everybody does it different. I go like round by round. Like I'll go through every single region in the first round, then I'll go back through the second, all the way till I get to the Final Four. And to me, that I don't really know where it's going. Like I don't start a bracket thinking, okay, I'm going to have I had a pretty good idea Marquette would be in there this year, but I didn't know Alabama, Houston, Kansas, that those would be the other three teams. And a lot of times I'm surprised when I get to the Final Four and at the teams that I have. It's always kind of like a surprise. That's my method, at least. I know everybody does it kind of different.
I go region by region. So I go all the way to the Elite Eight with one region and then do that for each of them. And so I stay in that frame of mind of like, okay, these are the teams that will be playing each other. And I just do that. There's really no strategy behind that. That's the way that I always do it. Spring is in the air, and that can only mean one thing. Spring grilling. The steak experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to spring into something delicious with their semi-annual sale. It starts Wednesday, February 22nd, so make sure you mark your calendar and get 50% off site-wide. Grab all your favorites like perfectly aged tender steaks, ocean fresh seafood, juicy burgers, air-chilled chicken, and decadent desserts. Plus, when you go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code VOLS, that is VOLS at checkout, you'll get an additional $30 off your order. It's the perfect way to get fired up and spring into something special. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code VOLS at checkout and take advantage of this deal. I've had Omaha Steaks plenty now. It comes right to your door. So convenient, so tasty. Can't recommend it enough. Go and get it. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, and you're going to want to hurry because 50% off site-wide is only happening for a limited time, so don't miss your chance to save. Visit omahasteaks.com. Use promo code VOLS at checkout and get an additional $30 off when you shop their semi-annual sale today. Again, it starts February 22nd. Mark those calendars and get your Omaha Steaks. Minimum order may be required. That's Omaha Steaks promo code VOLS. But yeah, I mean, some of my stuff in terms of my reasoning, like Tennessee, there's just so much doubt. And it just feels like the perfect opportunity. Because, like, the last time that I had a similar feeling to this was like Conzo Martin's last year. And they went to Sweet 16 and they were supposed to play Duke in the second round. And they ended up playing Mercer in the second round. They made it to the Sweet 16, won a really weird close game with Iowa in that one. And I could just see counterintuitively Tennessee just has a surge. They end up, Josiah Jordan James has a great shooting day, or his Vescovy goes off or something. Like, we've said it, this team has all the tools to beat Duke. It's just the execution. They have to go out there and actually do it. And so I could see that. The main thing with Purdue, I mean, it's just Zach Edey. The dude is 9 feet tall, and he can just stand in the paint and just lay the ball right up over your head. Like, it really is crazy the advantage that they have with him. Obviously he's the guy that people would debate in terms of Brandon Miller or him, who's the best player in America. Edey has a really good argument there too. In terms of meaningfulness to their teams, Miller probably wins out because Edey probably has a little bit of a better team around him than Miller does. But that's just a tough one for me. It just looks like a bad matchup. But I would obviously love for Tennessee to make the Elite Eight. But then in my prediction, they go against Marquette. Now this is one that I think people would be interested in. I have Kentucky losing in the first round of Providence. I think that one's very realistic. I think Ed Cooley's a really good coach at Providence. And Calipari is not a great in-game coach. And so why not? And then, Marquette versus Kansas State in the Sweet 16, Marquette moving on. And otherwise, trying to think what else would be interesting. I was kind of to Pearl in this one, to Bruce. I said that they win that opening round game. It's 9 versus 8 against Iowa. And then I said, because Houston's best player is potentially out, Marcus Sasser, potentially out. They're kind of holding it close to the vest. Oh, he might be. I'm assuming he's going to be out in this prediction. And I said Auburn's going to beat Houston, make it to the Sweet 16, play Indiana, and then Indiana beats them. I have Xavier and Indiana in that Elite Eight spot. I said Xavier beats Texas. And here's the reason for that one. They have Sean Miller. Sean Miller, obviously, just a really, really good coach. And I have them playing Texas in the Sweet 16. Texas still has that interim coach who's still, I would assume he's been an assistant in an NCAA tournament, I think, but he's never been a head coach in an NCAA tournament. It's a whole different thing. And so Sean Miller, obviously extremely seasoned and a really excellent basketball coach. And I think they move on and make the Final Four and they beat Indiana to get there. And then finally, I just think Kansas is really good, and they just kind of clean house in that bracket. I had them playing Gonzaga. Mark Few, legendary coach, made a national title game at this point, just never won one. But I think and Gonzaga playing really good ball. They won the West Coast Conference Championship by like 20 points and ran away with it. And so Kansas, they outlast Gonzaga, and it feels like to me Kansas might be the most likely winner, but Arizona, with Tabellis and Kerr Kriisa and all those guys, it's a good basketball team. So obviously they beat Tennessee earlier this season in a really awesome game in Tucson. So that's most of my rationalization there. Will it hold up? Almost certainly no. But there you go for people that are wondering.
I stayed away from Arizona. I think I got Arizona going to the Elite Eight. Yeah, losing to Alabama. Last year, I picked them to win it all. And didn't they lose in like the first or second round pretty early on last year?
I think the Sweet 16.
Was it that? Okay. Either way, they lost way before I felt like they were going to. So,
and they still have a little bit of a fresh coach. Tommy Lloyd's only been there for 2 years. And obviously his successor his predecessor is at Xavier now, Sean Miller. So,
yeah. I do have Providence beating Kentucky, like you though. I imagine that'd be a pretty popular.
I think
selection.
So.
Do you think there is any chance that UNC Asheville with Drew Pember upsets UCLA? Now, I picked UCLA to win that game. I got them going to the Elite Eight, losing to Kansas. But do you think there's any chance there?
Yes. I really do. Now UCLA, elite defensive team. They're the team that's been kind of battling for with Tennessee. I actually want to say UCLA took over the number one spot defensively in Kimpom. Let me see. They did. Yep, they're number one in defensive efficiency now after Tennessee kind of fell off near the end of the season. Tennessee's number two, but I UCLA, they have Mick Cronin, awesome seasoned head coach, and a guy. He already made a Final Four there. So he's been there, done that. But sure, dude, you have a guy like that where Pimber can just drop in like 30 on any given night and just run all over you. Yeah, totally. So I thought that putting them at a 15 was probably putting them a little low after watching them a couple of times this season. But I didn't see their full body of work, admittedly. I didn't watch a ton of UNC Asheville, as I bet almost everybody else didn't either. But I'll ask you this. What was your biggest crazy upset that you predicted?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that too, if you had any Cinderellas, because I was just looking back through mine, and I really didn't go with anything too out there. Like I said, I got Providence and 11 seed, winning. I think I did take 113 seed somewhere, maybe, but I didn't really go with anything crazy this year. I picked St. Mary's. They're a 5 seed to meet Iona in the second round. I almost took Iona to make a run, but I just kind of went with logic there and went with the higher seed.
Yeah,
I guess Iona. I do have Iona beating UConn then in the first round. Maybe that's one of the bigger upsets.
I did too, and that one's going to be really trendy just because they got Patino.
Yeah,
Iona has Patino. Otherwise, I have Florida Atlantic beating Memphis. Florida Atlantic. I mean, they're what, like 31-3, just won their conference. And yeah, there's a lot of potential here with just the way college basketball shook out this season, where there's no great team. Some of these lower level teams with just the most popular style of basketball now being just raining threes, some 15 seed just goes off, and who knows who will get upset. But typically, obviously, the top 4 seeds usually have an easier time getting through. It's everybody after that can have a tough go of it usually. But here it is. So I have Iona beating UConn, then Iona beating St. Mary's, because St. Mary's, they are good. They're absolutely good. Made the West Coast Conference Championship, got their butt kicked, but still made it. They had a nice little surge near the end of the season. But I have Iona playing upset there, but then Kansas beating them. I mean, they're a really good team. So otherwise, I don't think I chose anything too revolutionary there, but I'm excited to see who the team is that gets that has to play sucker this time, because it just seems like with the crazy parity that there is in college basketball, it's reliable for every season now that there is just a 2-15 upset, a 3-14 upset, almost every year.
Do you ever pick the winner of the play-in game to advance? Because I did this year, because I feel like Tennessee did that one with the last Conzo year, right? That was that when they went to the Sweet 16. So I picked the winner of the Pittsburgh Mississippi State game to advance to the second round. I have Pittsburgh now, since they won last night. I have them beating Iowa State.
I did too, actually. I didn't even think about it, but yeah, I have them playing Xavier and then losing to Xavier.
Yeah, same.
And they go to the Sweet 16. So interesting that there's, I guess, a lot of groupthink as far as this stuff goes. A lot of trendy upsets. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the other side of the coin from us that are for sure choosing Louisiana to beat Tennessee. I mean, we already talked about it on our Sunday show after the bracket was revealed. Instantly, the guys on that bracket reveal were like, "Oh, Louisiana's going to beat Tennessee."
Yeah,
Tennessee, they're terrible now.
I get the logic on that. If you're not a Tennessee fan and you're just looking at this from, like, you're a Kansas fan, outside of the East Tennessee bubble, kind of looking at this, you're like, okay, yeah, they don't have their starting point guard. They've been up and down. They're right for an upset. I totally get it.
But counterpoint to that, I filled out an ESPN bracket, because I'm just I fill out like 20 of them. One of those guys. And you should fill out Run Your Pool. Play.runyourpool.com/ATOZ. Do yours there. but I filled one out on ESPN and I did their smart predictor, which just uses like metrics to just shake out the results. And they had Tennessee in a national championship game.
Wow.
On the smart selector playing
Okay.
Houston. Who knows exactly what is reflected there in the metrics that they have? Does it even realize that Kai Ziegler is out? I don't know. But interesting side note there. Who knows what could happen?
Not factoring in making late free throws.
Oh boy. But maybe with the lack of expectations here, maybe a little bit of that is lifted off of this team. That would be nice.
Yeah.
But who knows? Anything can happen in the tournament. Well, as I said, if you want to get in on the action, there's our choices for the bracket. But if you want to get in on the action, play.runyourpool.com/ATOZ. Run Your Pool, the home of competition. Go there and win a 55-inch smart TV, a $150 Fanatics gift card, a $50 Amazon gift card. If you're actually good at filling out brackets, unlike me and Zach, you probably have a pretty good chance. So top 3 folks get those prizes, and play.runyourpool.com/ATOZ. Fill it out there. Do it now before noon tomorrow, noon Thursday. And I think that is it for this segment. I'll advertise right now. Zach and I are going to do a really quick follow-up segment. Josh Heupel did an interview with our friend Emily Proud over at 247 Sports. And we're going to talk about Josh talking about the rule changes in college football and the effect that it might have on his team. He had an interesting response, so we're going to talk about that and probably give our takes on what the rule change might mean for Tennessee too. So look for that. This video is going up on Wednesday. That video about Josh Heupel will be going up on Thursday, so look out for that then. And that is it. We will talk to y'all tomorrow, I guess.
See you guys then.